of Toronto, but I've been here 3 times, which is 3 times. So, and I like to second on what the lads said, and you really do love your film, so hopefully you'll enjoy this one too. Thanks again.
The question is to Cillian and what it was like working with Jim and Brendan, and I assume Jodie as well.
It was a real thrill, I felt I've been very, very lucky to get to work with Brendan several times now, and it's always interesting. and it's been a real privilege to get to work with him over the years. I've admired his work, before I was ever an actor, to know him now as a friend and as an actor is a real privilege. And then similarly with Jim, again, a big fan of his work. And when these guys walk on, they're such bastards. You just love them. Let's do anything. But it was just brilliant, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I just want to pay tribute to Ian, because he said very kind words about us there. But he did a tremendous job as the reaction show tonight, and it was it was brilliant working with him.
The lady over here.
This is a question for both Mr. Murphy and Mr. Houston. Did you identify with your characters?
I was actually in an identity lineup.
The question was to Brendan and Cillian about how they identified if they identified with their characters.
Well, I am a dog lover. Not particularly, really. I think I might have suffered more from the likes of Mr. Perrier, as I like to call him, than otherwise. But no, I mean, there was such, when you get to work on something like this, the risks have already been taken, by the writer. It's such that, as Ian was saying, like Mark, he has such a flow and such fearlessness in where he's prepared to take things, and the language is, if you do come and go up to Clara Head to see the sea, don't expect people to talk like that. It's close, but it's not quite there. And so, I mean, they had to go for that mad, ridiculous poetry in the language was something. I think there is a kind of a tradition of it in Ireland. I think it's called Blarney maybe, or some other word called B. And he had the gumption to go and put it in the film script, which is sometimes not the most, it's sometimes actually frowned upon to exalt in language in films. So I think it's a big mistake, really. And anyway, I just wanted to add to what Ian and Gil had said about the fact that these characters basically came from Mark, and it was fantastic to get a loan of them. And give them back, and hopefully allow them to live a little bit, and give them to you lot on the way. And again, just not to have a whole love-in fest or anything like that, but just again to kind of say how privileged I am to work with Cillian. He's an absolute gem, and I'm as proud as punch that we're actually producing the likes of this in the country. He embodies everything that you want young actors to be. And Ian has taken, risky stuff and made risky decisions and allowed the actors to go ballistic. And I think he deserves fantastic credit for it, so thank you. I didn't even give Cillian a chance to answer. That was the best name as well.
About the identifying with well, I think that Mark O'Rourke writes Irish males very, very well. And he wrote this film which I was in called Intermission a few years ago, and I think he brilliantly identified something about the Irish male, or maybe it's universal, but I can only speak for Irish males. And this sort of procrastination and just not really doing anything. And I think in Michael's case, not everybody, but in Michael's case, he's got this sort of weird relationship with his parents, and he's got this relationship with his girl, and he's just letting it be because he's hoping sure it'll be all right if I just let it be. I think he just observes that beautifully in the language and everything. And also, just to continue the love fest, can I just say how fantastic it was working with Jodie Whittaker as well, who's a fantastic steel actress.
The lady. The question is, as someone, the lady says, as someone who doesn't know Irish cinema well, what would Ian recommend for directors or films within Irish cinema?
Perrier's Bounties. There are lots of good films. I mean, Triage is on tomorrow with Colin Farrell, another fantastic actor. I mean, Brendan's talking about a vintage generation of Irish actors that we can all be proud of, and he's certainly one of them. I know Neil has a film, Undone, coming out as well. I think there's a rich scene of Irish cinema, dare I say it, coming out this year, so watch out for them.
I think we have time for one more question. And I'm going to go right in the middle, that gentleman over there.
Speaking of language, the gentleman is referring to particular characters who appear in this film who are traditionally from the north side of Dublin, which is the rougher end of Dublin. And he's asking me, it seems I seem to be specialising in urban characters, do I intend to make a film about cultures who are basically idiots from the country? That seems to strike a chord with the audience here. Is that Ontario, or where is that from Canada? Montreal, somewhere, I don't know. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm doing next, so I'm afraid I can't give you an answer.
Can I just mention that I'm from the north side of Dublin? I think of it as the cultured side.
Ladies and gentlemen,